We gonna party a little bit. Let's go. All right, welcome. iPhone coming in from Riverside. All right, that's where I'm at right now. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to the 5-day Restored Over Everything Challenge. We are about to get it popping. We are about to get this restoration. Listen, I'm here for it. I came completely full, and I promise you, every night of this 5-day challenge, I will leave empty. I'm coming giving you guys everything that I know about healing, elevation, and restoration, because going into 2022, we are going to be restored over everything. Do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you like, you know what, them New Year's resolutions, they ain't been working. Every month or every year I say I'm going to go to the gym, and then by January, February, I ain't going no more, right? I say I'm going to leave those toxic relationships, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends, whether it's an actual romantic relationship, and it doesn't happen. So this year, we are going to be restored over everything. So thank you guys so much for partying with me for that first beginning. And Lorraine, you're gonna love this story. My daughter would have been 16 years old today. Today is my daughter Betty Lorraine's birthday. Her name was Betty Lorraine. She passed away 3 hours after her birth. So I was able to carry her. She is my daughter Amaya's twin sister, and she passed away 3 days after birth. But what I've known is, as hard as that was, as devastating as that is, I live a life of celebration. So we are here celebrating her life, because although she's not here physically, she's here with us. Her spirit is here. I'm able to celebrate life and live a life of restoration in her honor. So thank you guys so much on Facebook for rocking with me. Thank you so much on Zoom for rocking with me in my restored community. We have over 100 and something people that are going to be rocking with us tonight, that are on this first 5-day challenge. First and foremost, let me stop screaming at y'all. Let's start right there, right? I am a little excited. I just want to thank you guys all. On my Zoom people, as you guys are coming in, do me a favor and just mute your mic as you are coming in. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So let's get started by, I want to introduce myself. I see some new faces, and hey, new friends. Hey, if you a new friend, if you've never attended one of my trainings or one of my webinars, say, hey, new friends in the chat. Put a hey, new friends, right? 2 Chainz told us, I wasn't 2 Chainz, I said, no new friends. I'm here for it. I'm here for the new friends. I want the new friends. But my name is Tamika Thomas. I am your life and relationship coach. I am your life and relationship coach. My whole purpose on this planet is to help women heal, elevate, and come restored. I know that everything that I went through, and we're going to go through some of that stuff tonight. I know that it wasn't an accident. I know that I didn't go through all of it for nothing. If you're live on Facebook, if you're here on Zoom, and you know, like, listen, sis, I done been through some things, and I know that I didn't go through all those things for anything. Do me a favor and say, girl, that's me. You talking to me, put that in the chat, say, girl, that's me. One thing you guys are going to learn about me as we do this training, this is going to be a cooperative thing. We are going to talk together. We are going to go together, because healing and restoration, it happens when you actively engage in your healing, when you actively engage in your restoration. That's how it happens. So a little bit about me. What I want to do, if I have your permission, I want to start by just telling you a little bit about my story. Throughout this 5-day challenge, you guys will have, I'll be talking about some of the ways that I've been restored, because this is not something that I read in a book. This is not something that I learned. Although I am a certified life coach, I am also a mental health specialist. I also am a author and I got all the things, right? All the things, but those are things do not truly qualify me. The things that qualify me is my life experience, the things that I've went through, the things that I believe that God has healed me through and restored me through. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead. I got a little PowerPoint thing that we're doing, because one thing I know about a challenge is that we need to actively engage. So I'm going to give y'all some homework. There's going to be some action steps for us to get through this. But once we get through it, I'm going to have prizes. I got prizes. I got all that good stuff. It's going to be really, really good. But we are going to engage, because how many of you guys know that year after year, we get on these trainings, we do these things, and it works for a little bit. But then after a week, a month, after all the adrenaline is out of our body, we're no longer feeling hype. We're no longer feeling like we can do it. So I am going to be, if you allow me, I am going to be your sister in this 5-day challenge. And one thing about me is I'm a big sister. I have 10 younger brothers and sisters, Lorraine. So I ain't no punk, right? I'm a real big sister. I am going to push you ladies. So there are going to be some things that we talk about even tonight that's going to get you out of your comfort zone, that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. One thing about the restoration and the healing process is sometimes our body and our mind goes into shock, because we begin to feel our mind's number one purpose is to keep us alive. And so once things start to challenge us, one thing start to make us feel like I can't do this, our brain, which our mind, itself, go ahead and finish it for me. Our mind is the soil by which everything grows. When our mind starts to feel challenged and we start feeding our mind something different, what happens is our mind starts to reject that. The soil that we're so used to being in, the soil that is contaminated, the soil that's toxic, the soil that is full of waste, it starts to reject all that good stuff that we're trying to put in. So let's go ahead and jump into this tonight. I'm hoping and I'm praying. Listen, I need some, if you pray with me tonight, because I need to make sure that this PowerPoint is going to work, that everything is going to work. I believe everything going to work out pretty good. I've been playing around with it. So be patient with me for a minute. I am going to share my screen. There we go. And we are going to get into this thing. All right. Let me know if you can still see me over there on Facebook. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I didn't even plan on me going live on Facebook, but I said, hey, let's try it out. Let's try it out. So here we go. We are in the 5-day Restored Over Everything Challenge. Like I said, my name is Tamika Thomas. I am your life and relationship coach. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey, what got me here. So I have been on this journey from 1980 to 1921, okay? So it's been a lifelong journey. It's been a lifelong thing. One thing I've learned, the word re. If you're taking notes, do me a favor. If you thought you was just going to be on this Zoom and on this challenge, listening to somebody talk to you, I need you to go ahead and reject that thinking. We are going to work. I'm going to coach you. What we're doing tonight. One of my clients, Miss Juanita, is on here. She knows that I do high level coaching. I am serious about what I do. So I already see you, Juanita. I need you guys to grab your pens. I need you to grab your notebooks. We are going in tonight. This is going to be some good teaching, something of substance, something that you can take with you. I don't know right now in California, those of you that are in Southern California, and I know, Juanita, you live in the Midwest. So there's it's cold right now. You know, in California, cold for us is anything under 65. That's cold. We cold out here. there, right? So you guys know that when it gets cold, we like to have meals that stick to our bones and that stick to us. This tonight, what we are going to do is going to stick to you. You are going to feel like, okay, I left with something. So go grab your pens, go grab your notebooks. I promise you that we will be off of tonight's training by 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So let's go ahead and dig into this. So God has been restoring me since 1980. Let me tell you how he's been doing that. I was received to teen parents. My parents were 15 and 16 years old when they had me. So I need you guys to catch something. When I'm using the word read means to do again. So anytime that you see the word re in front of something, that means that we're bringing something back, right? So re is a prefix for something that has already been done before. I was removed at 8 years old. So I was removed from my mother's house when I was 8 years old because I was hit by a car. So I was pretty much since the day I've been born, I have been fighting for my life. I have been fighting to sit here on Facebook. I have been fighting to sit here on Zoom for such a time as this because you ladies have been waiting for me. Put a 2 in the chat if you like Tamika. I've been waiting for somebody like you. It's just a whole vibe. It's just your energy. I like something about you. You ain't even started teaching nothing yet, but there's something about you. I was removed at 8. I was retained at 9 years old. So when I moved in with my dad, when I was blessed to have my dad come and get custody of me, I was retained in the 2nd grade. When my dad got custody of me, I didn't know how to read or write, but yet I am a 6-time author. I have published 6 books. I was retained, didn't know how to read, didn't even know how to write my own name. And all of this is part of the journey, right? This is all part of the journey. I need somebody to write this down in their notes. We need to stop asking God why, and we need to start asking God to heal. We're no longer going to be saying, God, why me? We're going to be saying, God, heal me. We are moving from why me to heal me. That was good. That's not even in my notes, but somebody needed that. If you came on here just for that, you're welcome. At 10 years old, I was reborn. So I dedicated my life to God at 10 years old. And I'm telling y'all, God be my witness. At 10 years old, I had this fire. I didn't know what to do with it. People thought I was weird. People thought I was crazy because I was always in my Bible. Now I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't the best. I was a fighter. I had them hands, but I was reborn. I dedicated my life to God, and I wanted to live my life fully for God at 10 years old. Then I repeated the cycle. And what I mean by that is my parents were teen parents, my grandparents were teen parents, my great-grandparents were teen parents. What did I do? I was a teen parent. So I had my first child at 18 years old. Super excited, love him to death. I have a almost 23-year-old that is serving in the U.S. Army. Let's give him some love just for that. Put some hearts in the chat. Give my baby some love. But I repeated the cycle. How many of you on here feel like, my God, I keep repeating the cycle? I'm doing the same thing that my aunts and them did. I'm doing the same thing that my mama and them did. I'm doing the same thing that I've seen over and over again. Well, tonight, even if you just come for tonight, we are going to break some generational cycles tonight. I recovered from suicide. When I was 23 years old, 23, 24, I had a major suicide attempt. And only by the grace of God am I sitting here before you right now. I took 4,600 milligram Motrin because I wanted to end it all, ladies. I was just talking to a young lady today, and I had to explain to her, suicide is not really that you want to die, but you want the pain to end. How many of you guys can be vulnerable enough to say, Tamika, I need this pain to end. I need these thoughts that I have in the middle of the night that nobody else knows about, the way I cry myself to sleep, when I look myself in the mirror and I don't feel like I'm good enough. I need all that to end. That's why I came here, Tamika, because I need you to show me how to be restored from myself. How many can raise their hand and say, listen, sis, I need to be restored from me. It's not the environment, but it's me. I had to recover recover from my suicide. And then I was rejuvenated from a stroke. You guys, look at me. Look at me. First of all, I don't even look like the things that I've been through. At 32 years old, I had a major stroke in front of my children. My 3 children had to pick me up after I had fell down in front of them. I had to literally, I was unable to walk. I was unable to talk. I was completely paralyzed on one side of my body. The doctor said that this is how I would spend the rest of my life. Look at me now. How many, oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. How many of you guys sitting on the Zoom or sitting on Facebook don't look like the things that you've been through? However, on the outside, you got it all together, but on the inside, there's still some residue of that pain. Put a 2 in, I need y'all to rock with me. Don't play with this thing. We going in tonight. Put a 2 in the chat if you like, Tamika, that's me. I don't look like what I've been through. And I know that there's so much more that I'm supposed to do in this world. I know that there's so much more. I know that I didn't go through that car accident for nothing. I know that that cancer scare wasn't for nothing. I know that me losing that child was for nothing. God will rejuvenate you. I was renewed after divorces. Listen, sis, I don't even call myself divorced. I say I've successfully completed some relationships. Can I get an amen? I've successfully completed some relationships. I need you ladies to understand that breakup was for your benefit. It actually wasn't a breakup because you're not broken. What you are is you've successfully completed some relationships. There's a lady listening right now. There's a gentleman listening right now that they feel like, why is my heart broken? I'm here to tell you it ain't broke. There ain't nothing broke about you. It's a success. And you may not be able to see it now, but after we become restored, we're going to be able to see everything as a benefit, everything as that it has a purpose. Nothing wasted, nothing lost. Somebody put that in the chat. Nothing wasted, nothing lost. After those successfully completed some relationships, I've been restored for such a time as this. So if you're ready, I see that we have about 35 people on here on Facebook. You know, I see y'all rocking with me. Let's get into this content. I am so hyped. I am so ready. All right. So tonight, what we're going to be walking through, day 1, is forgiveness. I know you guys are probably like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Ladies, gentlemen, that has everything to do with us being restored over everything. So tonight we're going to be talking about the roots of the sycamore tree. We're going to be talking about the 5 steps to forgiveness. We're going to be talking about things that we need to remember. We're going to actually do some work. I told you we're doing some work. Any challenge that you do, how many of you guys have ever done a fitness challenge or a kindness challenge, any type of challenge? It's not a true challenge unless you put some skin in the game, unless you're really willing to do something to activate that challenge. So we're going to actually write a letter to the person, hey love, that we need to forgive. See, I successfully completed some relationships, but I got a whole husband that gave me a big old ring, right? That loves the mess out of me. Yes, yes, yes. We're gonna write a letter to the person that we need to forgive most, and then I'm going to give you some prayer activations. All right. So the sycamore tree. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys? Okay, thank you, Lorraine. I need you guys just to take a look at this tree. So the sycamore tree has the largest root system of any other tree on this planet. What we're going to be doing tonight is we're doing some uprooting. So not only are the roots large, but they go deep into the earth. When you start to hear me, when you start to really understand what I'm talking about, I need you to say, I got it, Tamika. Some of us have been dealing with things that are so toxic. The roots are deep. The roots are large. The roots, do you guys see how entangled this is? These the things that you've been going through, the things that you need to be restored from are tangled. They're mangled. They are toxic looking. Doesn't that look almost like scary? Doesn't that look like wow, that looks wicked almost? Some of the things that you've been going through are wicked. They're toxic. I need you to understand that the roots of this tree, they go about 30 feet deep in the earth. This tree cannot be killed unless you go to the root system, and you have to dig it all the way up. There are some things that you have been battling, not only within yourself, but in your bloodline, that you got to go deep. You got to go and you got to deal with that thing that your grandmother was going through, that your great grandmother was going through. And you may be sitting here like, but Tamika, what does that have to do with me? That has everything to do with you, because until you're willing to uproot these things and call a thing, somebody put in the chat, Tamika, tonight we're going to call a thing. And those molestations that every girl in your family has gone through and nobody wants to talk about, we're going to uproot that stuff. That mental illness, that stress, that anxiety, that it seems like at 30 years old, all the women in your family start to deal with this. We have to uproot it. We have to talk about the root system. The bark of this tree is used to create coffins. How many of you guys feel like every single time you start something, it dies? And it's like buried. And it feels lost. And you feel like, Tamika, I'm doing everything that I know what to do. It's because we're not getting to the root of this thing. The other thing about this tree, do you realize it does not need a lot of water? In order for this tree to grow, it needs a very minimal amount of water. See, there's things that have been growing in your bloodline and that have been growing in you that you're like, I'm not even watering it. I'm not even doing anything. But because it's at the root system, because no one has ever plucked it all the way up, because we just sweep it under the rug, because we just try to put a pretty little, rug or throw blanket over it to cover it, it's still there. And it's growing and it's festering. Those of you that are on Facebook, I need you to know that tonight is complimentary. But if you want to get into this challenge, you need to go over to TuesdayWithTamika.com and register, because we're giving away some prizes. I'm giving away over $3,000 worth of prizes. And in order for you to win these prizes, you need to be registered. These are the roots of unforgiveness, ladies. This tree represents what it looks like when we live in unforgiveness. So I know that there's people on here like, Tamika, what are you talking about? There's nobody that I've forgiven. When God had me walk through my forgiveness, I had to forgive. As you guys are coming in, please make sure that you mute your mics. I had to forgive friends. I had to forgive all kind of people. I had to forgive people that abandoned me. I had to forgive my mother. I had to forgive my father. I had to forgive, but most importantly, I had to forgive myself. The other thing about this tree, ladies, this sycamine tree with these deep demonic roots, is the fruit of this tree. It looks delicious. It looks like a beautiful raspberry. It looks luscious. It looks, just really good. But guess what? It's bitter to the taste. How many of you are walking around and you look sis? Your eyebrows is on fleek. I don't know if we still say that. Your baby hair is laid. You look good. You like bam, boom, boom. Your body is banging. You got the best hair, the best smile, the best everything. But when anybody gets close to you, you're bitter. Your fruit is bitter. No one can actually enjoy the person that you truly are because there's stuff in your root system that needs to be plucked up. This is crazy to me about this tree. The only way that it is pollinated is by wasps. How many of you feel like life has been stinging you over and over and over and over again? That's how this tree is pollinated, by wasps. And the root system is so tangled. Some of you guys are going to have to, in order to be restored over everything, you have to dig up the roots. And you're going to have some tough conversations. And you're going to have to talk to grandmas and moms. And maybe these people are no longer living. But you are going to have to walk through some unforgiveness. Some forgiveness. Because if you remain in unforgiveness, everything that you do will be bitter. Everything that you try to accomplish will not work. Let's move on from this. When I was researching the sycamore tree, this scripture came up and it said, and the Lord said, if ye have faith, as a grain of a mustard seed, you may say to the sycamore tree, be you plucked up by the root and be thy planted in the sea, and it has to obey you. How many of you are tired of year by year dealing with hurt, pain, rejection? That's the bitterness, bad attitude. That's the fruit that you're producing. Unhappiness, suicidal thoughts, feeling like you're not good enough because you are not willing to unforgive. When you forgive, you're plucking up the roots of that sycamore tree. If you are ready, if you're like, Tamika, I can't go another day. Not only does my life depend on it, those of you that just jumped on, I talked about my son that's almost 23 years old, that's in the military. If I didn't go through this forgiveness process, my children would be eating of that bitterness. My children would have to deal with the bitterness of me not having a mother. I want to share with you guys, when my son was 13 years old, I used to do this thing that's called trauma comparing. So I would compare my trauma to him, and I would always tell him things like, and if this is you, just say ouch and do better. I would say, how dare you not be respectful? How dare you get a C? I didn't have a mom. No one took care of me. I didn't have any, but that was my unforgiveness. I would say, my mom was a drug addict. There was nobody there to take care of me. How dare you? And one day my son looked me dead in the eye and he said, Mom, when are you going to stop making me pay for what you didn't have? Many of you are dealing, your children are eating that bitter fruit that you are producing because you are not willing to uproot. You are not willing to pluck out. You are not willing to walk into radical forgiveness. Tonight, day one, we're going to go through some radical forgiveness because that is the way that we start the restoration process. I need you to know the 5 stages of forgiveness. Stage 1, we acknowledge the hurt. I'm not here to tell you that the multiple people that molested me as a child, that didn't hurt. It hurt. It took away my innocence. It was not right. It was not fair. It should not have ever happened. I need someone in the chat right now on Facebook And on Zoom, I need you to write in the chat, I acknowledge the hurt. Let's acknowledge it tonight. That man that walked out on you, your children's father, that it's Christmas time and you're wondering, how do I even get presents for my kids? And he's been promising for years. And you always have to come up with it. You always have to make a way. Those parents that abandon you, I need you to write in the chat, I acknowledge the hurt. We're going to acknowledge this hurt and this pain that we feel. And then we're going to identify the emotions. What's the true emotion that you feel? Are you pissed off? Call a thing a thing. I need somebody to put in the chat, I'm going to call a thing a thing. I am upset. I am angry. I am embarrassed. Whatever that emotion is that you're feeling, let's acknowledge that emotion. If you're sad, if you're hurting, let's acknowledge that emotion. And then this is radical, you guys. We are going to cancel the debt. We are going to cancel the debt because no longer do we want to walk in this bitterness. So what I need you to do right now in faith activation, if you have your notebooks, I need you to go ahead and get a blank piece of paper and write that person that you need to forgive. I need you to write their name and I need you to say debt free. Debt free. One thing that I do every time I pay my bills, I say, thank you, Jesus, paid in full. I need you to write that down right now. You need to write that, if it's your daddy, if it's your mama, if it's your kids. I want you to write their name down and then I want you to say paid in full. We are canceling the debt. We are no longer going to hold on to those things that those people did. Because you know what unforgiveness is? Many of you guys have probably already said this. It's like stirring up some poison, stirring up something to hurt somebody, but then you taking a sip. So I want you to cancel this. Paid in full. Paid in full. Next, we set the boundary. Whatever that boundary is. I absolutely love, honor, and respect my mom, but I got boundaries. I love, honor, and respect my children's father, but guess what? There's boundaries. And I want to tell you that there's rigid boundaries, there's loose boundaries, and there's healthy boundaries. When we walk through forgiveness, we set healthy boundaries. Somebody write this down. I'm a set the boundary, not build the wall. Yeah. Some of you ladies are so hurt that you build a wall and not a boundary. Let's build the wall, not the boundary. And lastly, we're going to make a commitment. Make a commitment to ourselves that however many times you got to walk through this forgiveness, however many times you have to uproot this stuff. I don't know if there's any gardeners in the building, but you don't just go out and pull out a root that's deep down there, that's 30 feet down. You don't just go down there and pull it out. You got to put your back into it. You might have to get a shovel and you might have to dig some stuff up. I need you to write this in the notes. Tonight, I'm willing to dig up, before you go to bed, tonight, I'm willing to dig up anything that's causing me to produce bitter fruit. You may need to have you might need to partner with some people and say, help me pull this thing up. I don't even know where to begin, but I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be restored over everything. Underneath this restore shirt, it says living a life to inspire. Once I went through and I continually go through my forgiveness process, because it is a process, then I'm able to inspire. Then I'm able to live the restored life. If this is good to you guys, if you already feel like, Tamika, I'm learning something, I'm learning something. Just put in the chat, this is good. This is good. This may be not what you expected, but I want us to truly get this healing. I'm tired of us walking away just feeling good, feeling motivated, feeling inspired. I'm coming for your transformation tonight. I'm coming for your restoration tonight. Here's some things that I need you to remember. Forgiveness does not mean that you become a doormat. Can somebody say amen? This does not mean that you become a doormat. And the way that we prevent ourselves from becoming a doormat is we set those boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to be in a relationship with them. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Let me tell you guys a little bit about cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when your mind tells you to do something, but your actions tell you something different. We have been programmed to believe that in order to honor your mother and your father, I don't know why I'm on this mother and this father thing, but there's many of you in here that need to forgive parents, that need to forgive mothers and fathers. But we have been taught and made to believe that because I am honoring my mother and my father, that means I have to be in a relationship with them. That ain't the truth. That is not reality. You are able to forgive people and not be in a relationship with them. If you needed just that, let me know in the chat. I needed that. I needed that freedom. I needed to hear that. To forgive, you don't have to wait for the apology. Stop sitting around saying, when they apologize, then I could forgive. Forgiveness is a one-way street. In California, we don't have a lot of one-way streets. Most of our streets are two ways. Most of our streets, there's somebody going this way and there's somebody going this way. I need you to write down in the chat on your notebook and your journal. I need you to write down, forgiveness is a one-way street. All you have to do is commit to it. All you have to do is write debt-free. Cancel out that debt. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about what that other person is doing. You get free. You walk in your forgiveness so you can walk in your restoration. What does the Bible say? We don't have time to read all these scriptures, but I'm telling you, there's hundreds of scriptures about forgiveness. Maybe you're not a believer. Maybe you've never picked up the Bible. I want to encourage you to write one of these down right now and Google it and see what is this even really a thing? I'm here to tell y'all, this is no cap, as my kids say. They probably cringing if they even heard me say that. No cap. When I started walking in forgiveness, my skin cleared up. I started to lose weight. My edges started to grow back. My hair got longer. My nails started to grow nice. I didn't have aches and pains, and my stomach wasn't always hurting, and I didn't always have these headaches. Because unforgiveness, just like that sycamore tree, produces bitterness. And some of that bitterness manifests in our body. And you're wondering why do I always have headaches? Why do I always feel like I'm about to throw up? I feel nauseous. Every time I walk into this room or I go to my aunt's house or I engage with this person, I don't feel good. It's a great possibility, as my Gigi grandma used to say, that there's something that you need to do. Remember, you have the ability to cancel this debt. You have the ability to let this go. You do not have to carry any of this into 2022. If you rocking with me, if you like, you know what, Tamika, you talking to me. I need you to put in the chat, I will not carry this unforgiveness into 2022. We ain't even got to know who the person is you need to forgive. Maybe it's you. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for that abortion. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for sleeping with that dude that was no good, or that woman that was no good. Maybe you need to forgive yourself for always overspending and always coming up short because you have an addiction to things. Because you're always, you never feel filled. You never feel fulfilled. You never feel like there's enough. So you buy and you shop and you get all these things. And then at the end of the month, you never have enough money. Maybe you need to forgive yourself. You know who that person is. And we're going to do a faith activation. I told you guys, I'm not playing with you. This challenge is not just for us to be cute and us to get together for 5 days out of the week. Listen, I got 8 kids. I could be doing a whole lot right now. But I wanted to take this time to walk you through how to be restored over everything. Here's our faith activation. This is our homework for tonight as we're walking through our first night and we're dealing with forgiveness. I want you to write a letter, write a note, use your phone, do whatever you have to do. And you are going to literally walk through a healing activation. So here's an example. Today, and write the date, before you go to bed. If you are really committed to this, I need you to put in the chat, I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm committed. Why not? What else? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I need you to put today's date, December 13th, 2021. I am choosing to forgive blank. So mine says, I am choosing to forgive my ex-husband. And then you're going to say 4, not loving me the way I needed to be loved. I understand now that I'm on this other side of restoration, that he loved me to the capacity that he could love himself. By forgiving him, I'm opening up my heart to receive real love. Those of you that are on here and you're like, I want something real, something substantial, something that, I mean, blows my mind. If you do not walk through this healing activation, you can't get what you want. Because many of us unforgiveness is walking around with a closed fist. Once you release that person, you will be open to receive. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bless them. Once you release them, now you bless them. I pray for your grace and mercy on him. Today, I release all the hurts, all the pains that are attached to this situation. Now, I know many of you listening, or many of you that listen to the replay, you're going to say, but Tamika, I was raped. You mean to tell me you want me to forgive that person? And I'm here to tell you, first and foremost, acknowledge your hurt. And I'm so sorry that that happened to you. But yes, release them so you can be free. Many of you are going to say, but Tamika, you don't understand the way my husband beat me or the things that he did to me. And I'm here to tell you, we are going to acknowledge that hurt and that pain. We're going to identify those emotions, but we are going to forgive them. Because with forgiveness, on the other side of that is being restored over everything. So who's committed to writing their letter? Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, you know what, Tamika, I'm ready. I know that I need this. I know that it's time. I'm tired of these roots. I'm tired of this bitter fruit. I'm tired of being stung. Remember, the sycamore tree is only pollinated by being stung. Many of you, oh my gosh, somebody came just for this word. Feel like you can't be successful, you can't be happy unless it comes with a little pain. I'm here to tell you, on the other side of restoration, you're able to produce things out of your healing and your restoration. You no longer have to have the sad story. Some of us are too tied to our identity. We're too tied to that sad story. We're too tied to, we don't want to forgive because forgiving means we have to let go of the story. If you're ready to let go of your story and forgive you, I had to forgive myself for those abortions. Those of you that jumped on late, what you didn't hear is today would have been my daughter's 16th birthday. I had to forgive myself and understand that my baby didn't die because of something that I did. But I had to forgive myself for that. So today we partied. We partied in honor of Betty Lorraine. And I can do that now because I forgave myself for her death. I understand that it had nothing to do with me. When we walk in this healing, when we walk in this forgiveness, there's restoration on the other side. So that's day 2. Day 1 of our 5-day challenge. What I need you to do, because I have a gift for tonight, but what I need you to do is I need you to email me your letter of forgiveness at tuesdaywithtamika@gmail.com. So you can just send me an email and say, Tamika, today I am choosing to forgive blank. And by forgiving them, I will do blank. I will also email you guys in the replay a template because you're going to have to forgive multiple people. I'm telling you, God took me back all the way to 3rd grade and to people that hurt me in the 3rd grade that I was still hanging on to. And I was wondering why it was hard for me to have friends and keep friends because I was still holding on to somebody in the 3rd grade that stopped being my friend. I had to forgive teachers that told me I wasn't going to be anything. I had to forgive my dad because he was hard. Those of you that are listening, you know Uncle Mike was hard. But I understand that he did it to love me. Oh, this is so good. When you walk through your healing process, I need you to say, I'm not going to edit. We don't edit ourselves. So we don't say, I forgive my mom. I know she only did the best she could with what she had. No, if you do that, you're not acknowledging your feelings. You're not acknowledging yourself. You're doing what you always do, and you put yourself on the back burner and excuse everybody else's behavior. When you walk through this healing and this faith activation, call a thing a thing. I forgive my daddy for walking out on me. If that's your story, I forgive my parents for dying at a young age. If that's your story, I forgive myself for cutting. There's somebody on here that does self-harm behavior because that's your coping skill. That's all you know to do. Forgive yourself for that and know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. If tonight was good for you, give me some hearts in the comments. Let me know if you're going to do this faith activation. What I'm going to do is all of you that sends me your forgiveness letter, I'm going to have one of my 8 kids pull a name out the hat. And for tonight, the winner that I will announce on tomorrow, so you got to be on tomorrow, you are going to receive the healing journal bundle. I'm not doing it right now. One of my kids is ready. They ready. And then you're also going to receive, this is amazing. This is a little a little surprise. So send me your letters at tuesdaywithtamika@gmail.com. You're only me. I'm the only person. No one on my team will see these letters. I will be the only person. And I'm going to put your name in the hat. And then when we get started on day 2, I will read the winner out loud. Listen, there is so much freedom on the side of forgiveness. I would not be able to live in my 5-bedroom home. I would not be able to coach and speak and talk to women all over the world. I would not be able to do any of the amazing things that I've done if I allowed. I want to go back to that picture. If I allowed the entanglement of this tree, if I allowed the things that I've been through, and listen, y'all, I got a story to tell. I got sexy reasons why not to forgive people. I've been through so much. I tell people my life could be a Lifetime movie. But one root at a time, I started to uproot. And Valerie, I started walking in freedom. Deborah, I started walking in freedom. I started to become restored over everything. And not only do I want that for you, but most importantly, God wants it for you. So to end day 2, if I have your permission, I want to pray us out. Watch your email. I'm going to send you a forgiveness prayer. I'm going to send you a template to help you formulate your letter. I'm going to be watching my email, and I'm also going to send you the replay, because maybe you're like, you know what, Tamika, my sister needed this. My cousin needed to hear this. My husband needs this. I'm going to send you this replay for you to be able to listen to it over and over again. Forgiveness is the children's bread. This is what we deserve. This is what we are. It's for us. So let's go ahead and pray out. Lord, I just thank you, God. I thank you for each and every person that's listening, each and every person that will listen to the replay. I ask and pray that you touch our hearts and you help us to dig deep. You said if we had faith, the grain of a mustard seed, that you are faithful and just to help us to remove this sycamore tree, these roots that have been planted in our heart, that have been implanted in our mind and our soul. Help us to uproot it. Help us to walk in forgiveness. I thank you for it, Lord. Give them the strength and the courage to call a thing a thing. I ask and pray that you bless every household that is listening. In Jesus' name, amen. All righty. That is it for tonight, but I didn't even have a chance to look at the chats. I see y'all, this chat is licking. This chat is hot like fire. It's hot like fire. I want to take 5 minutes to answer any questions. Facebook, I'll hop back over and I'll answer those with you all. But if there's anybody that has any questions, I love you too, whoever that was, Galaxy. Thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you too, sis. Any questions? I'm going to open the floor for 5 minutes for any questions. Just raise your little hand or unmute your mic.
Sis, can you hear me?
Hey,
sis. Real quick, how do you forgive someone for what they've done or they're still doing and you're around them daily? Like, is there any medicine for that? Because I'm ready, but I'm seeing this person daily. So
that's good. So my question to you and what I want to challenge you is, are you holding something against this person?
I think so. Because I thought I wasn't, but I see resentment in me. I see it.
So that's your first step. is you gotta let it go. And here's the thing, I don't know how much of it that you heard, sis, but forgiveness is a one-way street. That person may not never, now if you in danger or if they like hurting you in some type of way, you get away.
Right.
But you don't have to, that person does not have to change. They may not never change.
Okay.
My mother has never changed, but I'm freer. They may never change, sis. But you will be so much freer when you forgive. And you acknowledge and you just call a thing a thing. You guys, let's give her some hearts. Let's show her some love for that transparency. You're already further than you even know because you're acknowledging your hurt. You're acknowledging your pain. That's how we start this forgiveness process.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sis. I love you.
Look, I'll call you.
I have time for one more question. I love this. The reason why I do this, ladies, is because healing and restoration happens in community. The world has tried to tell us that and I am not against, listen, I work in the mental health field. So I am not against therapy and mental health. But what I know is that we know us. We know how to heal ourselves. Sometimes we just need a push. We need somebody to tell us, no, you know what, Lorraine, you're not crazy. Crystal, you're not crazy. What you're feeling is real. Erica, no, that sucked. That's not right. Cuz I see you with your hand raised. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, can you hear me?
I could hear you.
My husband and I are listening, and the question came up was, after you get to a point of forgiveness, what's the next step, or how do you walk in that forgiveness? What's the next thing?
So walk after you, let me make sure I heard you right. After you forgive, what's the next step?
Yes, like how do you move on in that forgiveness?
So let me, I'm gonna send the PowerPoint, but what you do is you set the boundary, right? So you have to set, just because you forgive someone does not mean that you just go on about life like that thing did never happen, right? Even with your, oh, somebody please write this down. The best boundaries that we set is with ourselves. Many of us can't get to the other side of restoration because we keep neglecting our own boundaries that we set with ourselves. We say, I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. and pray and walk and feed the dogs and then you hit the snooze button. You breaking your own boundaries. You don't even trust yourself, but you expect other people to hold your own boundaries. So, cause after you set the boundaries, after you forgive, you set the boundaries and then you watch, right? You watch. You don't have to let everyone in. Now, sometimes there's people that we are in relationship with that are our mothers, our fathers, our children. And we continue that relationship. But who told us that they have to have such a close proximity? I protect my space at all means and all times. If it's my kids, if it's my husband, if it's whoever, I love me enough that I'm willing to forgive and I'm willing to guard my peace, protect my peace. That's right, Juanita. I'm willing to do these things. And I'm constantly uprooting. I'm constantly forgiving. There'll be somebody, oh my gosh, somebody write this down. We are only triggered by familiar spirits. We are only triggered by people that remind us of our mama, that remind us of our daddy, that remind us of our cousin that molested us, that remind us of, and we're like, oh my God, I'm so triggered. I'm so triggered when no. That's a familiar spirit. We're gonna call a thing a thing. And so I have had to learn to identify that familiar spirit and call it out. And say that spirit of anger, that spirit of jealousy, that spirit of, I rebuke you first and foremost. You have no place here. And secondly, I'm putting a boundary up. If that means I can't go to my auntie house, I can't go to my auntie house. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you welcome, love, you welcome. We are over our time. And I did good. I'm usually like way over. So I'm going to be watching my email and I'm setting a boundary. See that healing? Look at what the healing do. I usually be way over my time. I'm only 2 minutes. That's because I understand that I don't have to force feed y'all. I don't want you to throw up. Have you ever been so full that you throw up? No, I want you to be able to enjoy this. This is good food. You guys will be able to chew on this for a while. You'll get the replay. I'm going to be watching my email. Send in those forgiveness letters, and some lucky lady or gentleman will be able to get the journal package. These are journals that I wrote myself. This is a signature pen, and then this is a nice little goodie. I'll be sending that right to your doorstep right before Christmas. You'll be able to have that. I love you all with my all. That's for real. That's for real. If I see you down the street or if I never meet you in real life, I truly love you. I am constantly praying for you guys. Let's get this healing. We're going to be restored over everything. That's my time, ladies. I'll see you all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.